What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. For this camera comparison we have the brand new iPhone 13 and of course the Samsung Galaxy S21. Now the camera systems on their backs are a bit different and mostly because we have an extra camera on the back of the S21. That's a telephoto lens. Okay, so as always throughout this video we're gonna see a variety of daytime and nighttime sample pictures and videos, and just before we start make sure that you press that like button and let's begin by checking out some portrait mode pictures that I took yesterday. Okay, so looking at the portrait mode pictures that I took, well, it seems that the S21 gets the colors right more times than the iPhone 13. So the colors in those pictures are closer to reality on the pictures taken by the S21. But then when you look at my face and Laura's face, you're gonna notice that the S21 almost has a filter over our faces. So you can't really see our faces that well. So for portrait mode pictures, because of that, I'm gonna say that the iPhone 13 does better, at least in my opinion, but definitely leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And we are moving on to pictures that I took with the ultra-wide cameras on their backs. And the first thing I've noticed here is that most pictures taken by the iPhone 13 are a bit sharper, a tiny bit sharper. Now, at the same time, the Samsung Galaxy S21 kind of makes those pictures look a bit more epic, if I may say. So, I don't know, some of those pictures taken by the S21 do look a bit better, in my opinion. Even though the sky kind of reflects in all those pictures, so everything kind of becomes a bit bluish, I'm gonna say. So, kind of hard to say which one does better for that ultra-wide camera. Moving on to 5x zoom pictures, well, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, the Samsung Galaxy S21 has an extra camera that's a telephoto lens. So clearly all the zoom pictures that you're gonna take are gonna be better from the Samsung Galaxy S21. With one exception, I think one picture actually turned out better from the iPhone 13, but my hand was probably shaky in that picture. But overall, yes, if you're gonna take zoom pictures, the Samsung Galaxy S21 will do better than the iPhone 13. Next, we're gonna move on and check out some sample pictures that I took with the main cameras on the back of the two devices, and of course all the pictures are taken on auto mode and about a second apart from each other. Now, looking at those pictures, it seems that most pictures taken by the iPhone 13 are a bit sharper. Color-wise, once again, the iPhone 13 does seem to do better than the S21 because the colors do seem closer to reality, so colors that I was actually seeing with my own eyes. If you look at those pictures taken by the Samsung Galaxy S21 when the sky is super blue, that blue sky kind of reflects in everything in that picture, so cars become kind of blue, windows become kind of blue. So I'm not a big fan of that blue look that we get from the pictures taken by the S21. So for me personally, the iPhone 13 does seem to do better for pretty much all the pictures that I took with that main camera. And we're gonna move on and check out some pictures that I took at night, and of course using the night modes on both devices. And we are starting with some pictures that I took with the main cameras. Now this year the iPhone 13 does have a new main camera. And we can definitely tell from those pictures because most pictures taken at night with the iPhone 13 are sharper than the pictures that I took with the Samsung Galaxy S21. So we can see that sensor on the S21 is getting pretty old. So color accuracy is better from the iPhone 13, the picture sharpness is better. So for nighttime pictures using the night mode and the main camera, I'm gonna say that the iPhone 13 does much better than the Samsung Galaxy S21. And I'm very happy to see that because last year it wasn't the case with the iPhone 12. As for the ultra-wide camera and the night mode, well, things are totally opposite than they were for the main camera. So I feel that every single picture that I took with the Samsung Galaxy S21 is better because the pictures are sharper. Now, those pictures also have way more noise in them, but overall still better. So for the ultra-wide camera, the S21 will do better than the iPhone 13, but for the main camera, the iPhone 13 will do better than the Samsung Galaxy S21, of course when using that night mode available. But what do you guys think? Which one do you prefer for those nighttime pictures, the S21 or the iPhone 13? Next, we're gonna move on and check out some sample recordings that I've done with the iPhone 13 and of course the S21. Now for daytime videos, it seems that the iPhone 13 does better. I mean, even the iPhone 12 last year did better than the S21, so I was kind of expecting that that would be the case. Funny enough, the sound from the internal microphone seems to be better from the S21, just like it was last year. For nighttime recordings with the main camera, the iPhone 13 does better, but for the ultra-wide camera, the S21 does better. Alright, so I'm gonna let you guys watch those sample recordings and I'll be back right after. Alright, so for our first video test between the Samsung Galaxy S21 and the iPhone 13, I'm using the main cameras on both devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. Of course, at this resolution, both devices have image stabilization as well, and they can both do 4K at 60 frames per second. The S21 can actually record at an even higher resolution than that. Now, today it is a bit windy, so you're probably gonna hear some wind aside from my voice. I'm also switching the audio from one phone to the other just so you can see how they sound under these conditions. The iPhone 12 last year didn't have the best internal microphone, so hopefully that was addressed to the iPhone 13. So yeah, this whole recording done between the S21 and the iPhone 13 would look like if you're using the main cameras and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. Okay, and we're moving on to our next recording between the Samsung Galaxy S21 and of course the iPhone 13. For this recording, I'm using the ultra-wide lenses on their backs and once again recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. And it is a bit windy out today, but also the sun came out. So much better for video recordings. I'm just gonna stop here for a bit. We're gonna pan right, so towards the shade. I'll keep going and back left, and we're gonna walk a bit faster just so you can see how that image stabilization works in between the S21 and of course the iPhone 13. So yeah, ultra-wide lens, 4K at 30 frames per second. Alright, we are moving on to another quick recording with the front-facing cameras on the Samsung Galaxy S21 and of course on the iPhone 13. For this recording, I'm doing 4K at 30 frames per second, but both devices could record in 4K at 60 frames per second with that front-facing camera. I'm also gonna walk a bit faster, just so you can see how that image stabilization works on both devices. And it is a bit windy today, so you're probably gonna hear some wind aside from my voice. So yeah, this whole recording done with the front-facing cameras on the S21 and of course the iPhone 13 would look like on a pretty sunny day though. Okay, we are moving on to a quick recording in low light between the iPhone 13 and of course the Samsung Galaxy S21. For this recording, I'm using the main cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. We're gonna stop here, we're gonna pan left and up. And right. It gets a bit darker to the right here. And even though the image looks a bit brighter, at least on the screens here, there is also way more noise in the recording done by the S21. So we'll have to see how this footage actually looks on the computer. Let's go this way, I guess. Still quite a few lights, street lights around here. So yeah, this whole recording done with the main cameras on the back of the iPhone 13 and the Samsung Galaxy S21 would look like at night. We are moving on to another quick recording in low light between the iPhone 13 and the Samsung Galaxy S21. Now, for this recording, I'm using the ultra-wide lenses on the back of the two devices and once again recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. Let's walk this way. So the image from the S21 does seem brighter, but I can also see a lot more noise than in the image that we get from the iPhone 13. So I'm not sure which one would be better. Again, we'll have to see how this footage looks on the computer. So we'll walk this way once again. And go towards the road, I guess. So yeah, this is how a recording done with the ultra-wide lens on the back of the S21 and the iPhone 13 would look like. So what do you guys think about those sample recordings? Do you prefer the iPhone 13 or the Samsung Galaxy S21? Definitely leave a comment and let us know. Next, we're gonna move on and check out some selfies. And here it seems that for daytime selfies, the iPhone 13 does somewhat better, just slightly better, not a big difference. But yes, a bit better for those daytime selfies. But for nighttime selfies, it seems that the S21 did better. Maybe my hands are shaky, but the pictures that I took were definitely better from the S21. So there you have it, the brand new iPhone 13 and the Samsung Galaxy S21. I feel that this year Apple actually did make some improvements on the 13, and the cameras on the 13 are better than the cameras on the S21. But once again, leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Alright guys, hopefully you like this video. Don't forget to press that like button and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.